All right, get ready for a wild ride. Today, we are diving headfirst into a classic folktale that is just packed with mistaken identity, accidental heroes, and, seriously, some of the craziest twists of fate you've ever heard.
So let's just kick things off with the big question, right? Can a simple poor potter actually take on a lion? I mean, it sounds completely impossible, doesn't it? But believe it or not, a man named Ramu is about to answer that question. And the funny thing is, he won't even know he's doing it.
Okay, so first things first, let's meet our main guy, Ramu. He's just a simple potter, but his life, well, it's about to get really complicated.
And this really sets the stage perfectly, doesn't it? You've got these two worlds that are just on a collision course. On one side, there's Ramu. He's poor, he works hard, his life is pretty straightforward. And then on the other side, a terrifying lion that's basically the symbol of all the chaos and fear plaguing the local villages.
All right, now we get to the moment where everything, and I mean everything, changes. It all kicks off with one simple mistake on a very dark and stormy night.
So the scene is set, right? You've got Ramu, who's just bone-tired, and he breaks his daily routine. At the same time, this huge storm rolls in, and it's so bad it sends a lion scrambling for shelter. And then Ramu realizes his donkey's gone and heads out into that very same storm. I mean, talk about a perfect recipe for total chaos.
So imagine this. It's pitch black. He's soaking wet, and he finally spots a big animal huddled in a hut. He's so tired and frustrated, he doesn't even think to look twice. All he's thinking is, aha, found my stupid runaway donkey. Or so he thinks.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Let's flip the script and look at it from the lion's point of view. It's just been woken up by this furious man who is screaming at it and shows zero fear. The lion isn't thinking, oh, that's a potter, no way. It thinks this is some kind of fearless demon and it is absolutely terrified.
So our guy Ramu, still 100% convinced he's just wrangling his stubborn donkey, literally drags the most feared creature in the entire region all the way home, ties it to a tree, and just goes back to sleep. He has absolutely no clue what he's just pulled off.
So yeah, the next morning, Ramu's life is never going to be the same again. Let's watch how this one single mistake completely snowballs and creates a whole new identity for our simple potter.
Can you even imagine the scene? The villagers wake up, and there it is, the monster that's been terrorizing them for months, just tied up to a tree in Ramu's yard. Just like that, he's a legend. Everyone's cheering his name, and poor Ramu is just standing there, totally confused, thinking, why is everyone so excited about my donkey?
Meanwhile, at the exact same time, the whole kingdom is in the middle of a huge crisis. They're about to go to war against a way bigger army, and the king is desperately looking for some kind of hero, a real leader, to guide his soldiers.
And yeah, you can probably see where this is headed, right? News travels fast. The story of the man who captured a lion alive gets to the king's ears, and for him, it's like a sign from the heavens. This is it. This is the hero he's been searching for. So Ramu is immediately called to the palace, and boom, he's the new general of the entire army.
And this next part is just perfect. Ramu, who is so far out of his depth he can't even see the shore, goes home and just starts yelling at the only thing he can blame for this mess, the lion. He's not a hero, he doesn't want to be a hero, he's just a potter who wants to go back to making pots. It just shows you how completely absurd this whole situation has become.
Okay, so this brings us to the ultimate challenge. How in the world does a guy who has never even been on a horse, let alone fought in a battle, lead an entire army? Well, as we're about to find out, the answer involves a lot of rope and even more luck. See, Ramu is absolutely terrified he's going to fall off this massive war horse. So his wife comes up with this wild plan to literally strap him in. They have to use a table just to get him on top of it. Then they tie his feet to the stirrups. They tie his waist to the saddle. I mean, he is basically becoming part of the horse, but definitely not in the cool, graceful way you're imagining.
But of course, the plan goes completely sideways. Before they can even finish tying him up, the warhorse just bolts. It takes off like a rocket. Ramu isn't a rider at this point. He's just cargo, hanging on for dear life as this horse charges full speed straight for the enemy camp. So as he's flying past, he makes this desperate lunge for a big, thick tree branch, trying to stop himself. But the horse is moving so fast that instead of stopping, he just rips the entire tree branch right out of the ground. He's now holding a tree.
Okay, again, let's switch perspectives. You're an enemy scout.
What do you see? You see a man on a charging warhorse who seems to be tied to it, wielding an entire tree as a weapon. You're not seeing a scared Potter, you're seeing a literal monster, a force of nature. And what do? You panic. Big time.
And that scout's panic? It's like a virus. The rumor spreads like wildfire through the enemy camp. The general who captured a lion is here, and now he's ripping up trees with his bare hands. The whole army's completely convinced they're about to fight a demon, so they just run. The entire army flees. The war is over. It never even started.
And just like that, the battle is won. So what happens next for our accidental hero? Let's take a look at the legacy of the Potter-turned-general.
Well, Ramu finally manages to get off that horse, probably bruised all over. He finds the surrender letter left by the enemy king and just starts walking home. He's not celebrating, he's not triumphant, he's just exhausted. His only victory speech is basically telling his wife he's never, ever getting on a horse again.
The king, however, sees things a little differently. He sees a hero who, all by himself, made an entire army turn and run. So Ramu gets showered with gold, he gets a huge house and land, and he's made the permanent general of the army. It's incredible. Through a series of pure accidents, he's brought peace to the kingdom and has become an actual living legend.
And this really gets to the core of the story, you know? The real takeaway here is that Ramu never had any special strength or skill with a sword. It was the idea of his courage, this perception built on one misunderstanding after another, that turned out to be more powerful than any actual army.
So that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Does fate favor the brave? Or does it sometimes just create them out of thin air? Was Ramu always destined for this, or did a crazy chain of events just happen to forge him into the hero that everyone needed him to be? It's a pretty fascinating look at how perception, pure luck, and accidental courage can change the world.